Welcome to the Cenario podcast, your guide to mental health and well-being. Each episode, we uncover practical tools, discuss expert insights, and explore how supplements can transform your mental health journey. Get ready to learn, grow, and thrive with us.
Think about those moments when you just feel maybe a bit on edge in a social setting, like your mind races a little before meeting someone new, or you get self-conscious speaking up. We've all had that, right?
Absolutely. That little flutter of nerves, pretty universal.
Yeah.
But imagine that feeling cranked way up, intensified. So it's not just, fleeting discomfort.
Right.
But this persistent, overwhelming fear that just shadows your interactions.
Yeah.
That's the territory of social anxiety disorder.
Okay, SAD. So that's what we're digging into today. We're really taking a deep dive trying to understand what it actually is based on, the official guidelines.
The DSM-5 criteria.
Exactly. And looking at what might cause it and, importantly, what help is out there. We've got the diagnostic stuff plus some general info on SAD.
Yeah, so if you ever wondered, where's the line between just being shy and maybe something more significant? Or if you're trying to get a clearer picture for yourself or maybe someone you know, then this is definitely for you.
Our goal is really just to get well-informed, clear up some confusion, maybe.
Exactly. Move past the sort of common myths about it.
Okay, so let's get right into it. What is social anxiety disorder? Because like you said, it's clearly not just, preferring to stay in.
You really hit on the key thing there. It's not introversion. It's not occasional awkwardness. Fundamentally, SAD is this intense, ongoing fear of social situations.
Intense and ongoing.
Yes, and the absolute core of it is this worry, this deep fear of being watched, judged, criticized by other people. It goes way beyond just not liking small talk.
Yeah.
It's an anxiety that can really hold someone back. Think about how that level of fear impacts going to school, doing your job, even just forming relationships.
Yeah, that really paints a picture. So how does a professional, a therapist or doctor, figure out if someone actually has SAD? You mentioned the DSM-5.
Right, the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders. The 5th edition, DSM-5, it's basically the guidebook.
Okay.
It gives these standardized criteria that professionals use. For SAD, there are 9 specific points they look at. It's the pattern, the impact.
9 criteria. Okay, let's maybe walk through those. What's the first one?
The first is intense fear or anxiety in social situations.
Wow.
So this means a really strong fear kicks in one or more social settings.
What kind of settings?
Well, the sources mention things like speaking in front of people, obviously, but also just being observed doing something simple, like eating or drinking in public.
Wow, okay.
Or just having a conversation, especially with someone new. It's not just nerves, it's proper distress.
Got it. And number 2, fear of being judged or rejected. That seems pretty central.
Oh, absolutely central. The fear often circles around, how am I coming across, will I do something embarrassing, say the wrong thing? Underneath it all, it's usually this worry about being seen negatively and then ultimately rejected because of it.
Makes sense. Okay, third one. Social situations almost always caused fear and anxiety, so it's consistent.
Exactly. It's not just, sometimes feeling anxious. For someone with SAD, pretty much any relevant social situation triggers that fear response. That consistency is really key.
Right. Okay, number 4 is avoidance or intense distress. Sounds like how people cope.
That's it, exactly. To manage this really high anxiety, people might just avoid the situations altogether, go to great lengths sometimes.
Yeah.
Or if they can't avoid it, they just endure it, but with really intense discomfort, which is, incredibly draining.
I can imagine.
Okay.
Okay, number 5, the fear is out of proportion. This feels important for telling it apart from normal nerves.
It really is. There's this big gap, you see, between how threatening the person feels the situation is and what the actual risk is.
Example.
Okay, maybe giving a class presentation makes most people a bit nervous. But for someone with SAD, the terror they feel might be, completely overwhelming, way beyond the objective reality of just talking to classmates. Their internal danger alarm is just set way too high in those moments.
Okay. 6, symptoms last for 6 months or more. So it's not just a reaction to something specific that happened recently.
Precisely. That duration tells professionals, look, this isn't just a temporary blip, maybe a reaction to a stressful event. It suggests a more persistent, chronic pattern.
Gotcha. 7, causes problems in everyday life. This really hits home the impact, doesn't it?
Yes, this is crucial. The anxiety isn't just uncomfortable. It genuinely interferes with their life. Schoolwork suffers. Job performance drops. Building or keeping relationships becomes really hard.
Yeah.
It can really lower their quality of life, stop them chasing opportunities they actually want.
That's tough. Okay, the last two seem to be about ruling other things out. Number 8, not caused by substance abuse or a medical condition.
Right. Standard diagnostic practice. Got to make sure the symptoms aren't, a direct result of taking drugs or alcohol withdrawal or maybe some underlying physical illness that can cause anxiety.
And number 9, not better explained by another mental disorder.
Yeah, this is about differentiation.
Yeah.
Is the main issue really the social anxiety? Or could the symptoms be part of, say, panic disorder, where the fear is about having panic attacks?
Or something else.
Or maybe autism spectrum disorder, which involves social communication differences, or body dysmorphic disorder, where the focus is on perceived flaws in appearance. You need to pinpoint the primary driver.
That's a really clear breakdown, thank you. So, okay, shifting slightly. What do we know about why someone develops SAD? What are the causes?
Well, like most mental health stuff, it's usually not just one thing. The sources point to a mix, a combination of factors.
Right.
Well, there's genetics. SD does seem to run in families, so there might be some inherited vulnerability. Then there's brain structures. Some research suggests a more reactive amygdala, that's kind of the brain's threat detector,
Right.
might lead to stronger fear responses in social settings for some people.
So it's not just about what happens to you. Biology plays a part.
Definitely. But environment is huge too. Negative social experiences, especially growing up, think bullying, teasing, maybe lots of criticism.
Yeah, that could really stick with you.
Oh, absolutely. That can definitely increase vulnerability. And then there's also learned behavior. Kids might observe parents or others being really fearful or avoidant in social situations, and they kind of copy that pattern.
Wow. So it's like a perfect storm of genetics, brain chemistry, and life experience.
Pretty much a complex interplay.
Now, what about someone who maybe they don't tick all 9 of those DSM boxes, but they still feel like social situations are really hard? They can still have significant symptoms, right?
Oh, definitely. Yeah, the sources make that clear. Even without a full diagnosis, people can have really distressing symptoms, like intense worry way before a social event even happens.
Pre-worrying. Yeah.
Yeah, and feeling super self-conscious during interactions. This constant fear of looking stupid or always thinking people are judging them negatively.
And it's not just in your head, right? There are physical feelings, too.
Oh, absolutely. The body reacts. You might get, noticeable blushing, sweating a lot, feeling nauseous, heart racing, dry mouth.
Ugh.
And those physical symptoms can actually make the anxiety worse because now you're worried about people noticing them. It becomes a vicious cycle.
Yeah, I can see that. And then I guess there are the things people do to cope, the behaviors.
Right. Behavioral signs. Things like avoiding eye contact almost completely, staying totally silent in groups, even if they have ideas.
Holding back.
Exactly. Or maybe starting to skip school or work if there's a presentation or a required social thing. Even avoiding eating or speaking in public at all.
It really covers a lot of ground. Now, you mentioned the sources talk about different types of SAD. That was interesting, that it's not all the same.
Yeah, exactly. Can look quite different from person to person. Understanding these sort of subtypes helps figure out the best support.
So what are the main categories they mention?
Well, the most common one discussed is Generalized Social Anxiety Disorder, or GAD, though careful not to mix it up with Generalized Anxiety Disorder, different thing.
Right, okay, social GAD.
Yes. This means anxiety pops up across a lot of different social situations. Meeting people, public speaking, eating out, group stuff. Basically, many everyday interactions are triggers.
That sounds really tough. Impacts everything.
It really can, yeah. Big impact on daily life. Then there's performance-only social anxiety disorder.
Okay, that sounds more specific.
It is. Here, the anxiety is pretty much just tied to performance situations. Giving a speech, playing music, sports in front of people where you feel watched and evaluated. But crucially, these folks might be totally fine in casual chats or one-on-one conversations.
That's a key difference. What about a specific or situational SA?
Yeah, that refers to anxiety linked to just maybe 1 or 2 particular triggers, like only when talking to authority figures, or only on dates, or maybe using public restrooms.
So narrower than the generalized type.
Exactly. Might not meet the full criteria for the generalized type, but it can still be really disruptive when those specific situations come up.
And they also mentioned kids and teens. Does it look different for them?
It can, yeah. Sometimes in younger kids, it might show up as crying fits or tantrums before parties or school events, or maybe refusing to go to school, avoiding group activities, or clinging really tightly to parents in social settings. Recognizing it early is so important for kids.
Definitely. So knowing these types really helps tailor the approach, right?
Absolutely. If you know whether it's broad or specific, performance-based or not, you can focus therapy, like CBT or exposure work, much more effectively. Makes the coping strategies more relevant too.
Okay, so someone's listening, maybe recognizing some of this. What's the first step? Getting diagnosed?
Yeah, talking to a mental health professional is key. They'll use those DSM-5 criteria we talked about.
Right.
It usually involves talking through symptoms, your history, maybe some questionnaires, and like we said, ruling out other medical or psychological causes first.
Got it. Professional assessment first. Now, the good news, as the sources say, is that SAD is treatable. People don't just have to live with it.
That's such an important message, yes.
Mm.
With the right help, professional support, developing coping skills,
Mm.
people can really manage this, reduce its impact, and, build confidence.
Okay, let's talk treatments. Cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT, comes up a lot for SAD.
CBT is really a gold standard. It works on identifying and challenging those negative, often unrealistic thoughts people have about social situations.
Like the everyone's judging me thought.
Exactly that kind of thing.
Yeah.
CBT helps you see the link between your thoughts, feelings, and actions in social context. And then it teaches you healthier ways to think and respond.
What does it involve?
Techniques like keeping thought records, doing role plays to practice interactions, and really importantly, gradual real-life assignments to face feared situations. It gives you tools to manage it yourself long term.
Okay. And often paired with CBT is exposure therapy. How does that fit in?
Exposure therapy is about facing your fears, basically, but in a planned, gradual way.
Gently does it.
Yes, step by step. You confront the feared social situations in a safe, controlled manner. Over time, this helps reduce your sensitivity to those triggers. You learn, okay, the bad thing I expected didn't actually happen, or I could handle it. Builds resilience.
Makes sense. What about medication? Is that an option?
It can be, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Especially for moderate to severe SEA, or if therapy alone isn't quite enough. SSRIs, those are antidepressants that affect serotonin, are often the first choice.
Okay.
SNRIs, another type of antidepressant, are also used. And sometimes beta blockers can be helpful specifically for the physical symptoms of performance anxiety, like the racing heart or shaking.
Right, just for those moments.
Yeah. But medication usually works best when it's combined with therapy, not just on its own.
Good point. And besides the main therapies, what about things like mindfulness and relaxation?
Oh, very helpful too. As complementary tools. Things like deep breathing exercises, progressive muscle relaxation where you tense and release muscles, guided meditation, visualization. These can really help calm your nervous system down in the moment, and practiced regularly can lower overall anxiety.
Okay, so lots of professional options. What about day-to-day stuff?
Yeah.
Practical coping strategies someone could try.
Yeah, the sources had some great actionable tips. Keeping a journal could be really powerful.
How so?
Tracking your social experiences, like what you worried would happen versus what actually happened, what helped, what didn't, what were the triggers, noticing those physical sensations. It builds self-awareness.
All right, seeing the patterns.
Exactly. Another thing is setting small, achievable social goals. Don't aim for the huge party right away.
Start small.
Yeah, like maybe just making eye contact and smiling at the cashier, or asking one simple question in a low-stakes group setting. Small wins build confidence.
I like that. And challenging negative thoughts. That seems huge.
Crucial skill, actively questioning those automatic anxious thoughts. Asking yourself, like, okay, where's the real proof people are judging me?
Yeah.
What would I say to a friend feeling this way? Did my worst fears actually come true last time? It helps break that negative thought loop.
Good questions to ask. And it's important not to go it alone, right? Leaning on support.
Absolutely. Talking to trusted friends or family who get it. Or joining a support group, hearing from others with similar experiences can make you feel way less isolated. It's validating.
Yeah. And finally, they mentioned tech tools, like apps.
Right. There's some really good apps out there. Some use CBT principles, like MindGift. Others focus on mindfulness and relaxation, like Calm or Headspace.
Any resources.
Yeah. And teletherapy makes connecting with professionals easier, too. These can be great additions or even a starting point.
This has been incredibly helpful, really breaking it down. I think, for me, the biggest takeaway is just hammering home that social anxiety disorder is real. It's treatable. And it's definitely not the same as just being shy or introverted. Understanding those criteria seems like such a key first step.
It really is. And, stepping back, thinking about the bigger picture, when we understand social anxiety better, understand the different ways it shows up,
Yeah.
it just helps us have more empathy for ourselves maybe, but also for others around us. Recognizing the nuances helps us find better ways to support well-being, both individually and, as a community.
That's a really powerful thought to leave folks with. It kind of echoes something in the source material, doesn't it? That feeling of anxiety doesn't have to define you.
Exactly.
And that every little step towards understanding or towards seeking help is actually a really big step towards feeling better, feeling more confident.
Precisely. And that feels like a really hopeful and empowering note to end on today.
Thanks for tuning in to the Cenario podcast. Don't forget to visit Cenario.com for more expert tips, articles, and supplements designed to support your mental health. If you enjoyed this episode, remember to subscribe and share it with a friend. Until next time, take care of yourself.